and the Jets on the road that year, 2003. I guess you can look it up or I'll look it. It don't matter. Anyway, played them on the road, and I think I remember watching him and just the way he threw the ball and all that. It's like, oh hey, this guy can throw the long ball and all that. Where's any guys to catch it? Which we had Chad and later Hushmanzada after Peter Warrick moved on after he pretty much turned the shit. Even though he went to the Super Bowl, but with Seattle, but Steelers beat them. Yeah. Anyway, he's having a bad year. You can tell he's playing hurt, and he's playing hurt because he's getting knocked around. The offensive line can't block, and people were like, "Well, this is the same line from last year, so what the fuck's wrong, Carson?" Okay, well, if you're watching the same game I am, we're having trouble running and passing the ball. I mean, you see Benson take the handoff. Well, first off, our play calling is predictable back to Bratkowski. But anyway, our fucking offensive line has been horrible this year. I still like Bobby Williams and I like Whitworth, but I think everybody else can fucking go. I kind of like Kyle Cook last year because he came into training camp when we got rid of, who the hell we had the year before? Is it still Guycheck? Guycheck was a horrible fucking center for us, and he was small. But, he came in and, dudes were pushing him around and he'd fight back. And, like, he kept the nasty, which is something you need in this division, especially, the center. And you got to snap that ball and get up and block some of these guys that play for, like, Baltimore and, yeah, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and all that. But, yeah, I think, well, Bobby Williams is getting kind of old. Whitworth's probably going to the Pro Bowl this year, so I'm going to keep them. But, honestly, people, I mean, you need to wake up. If you compare the offensive line that was here when Carson, well, maybe not his first year, because we had like Mike Joff and guy from his name started with like an S or Z or something. He was bald. Anyway, I think we had Levi Jones and we brought in Williams that year. We still had Willie. But anyway, the offensive line, when Carson started playing for the first two, three, not four seasons, because that would have been so. Anyway, okay, we had at left tackle, we had Levi Jones, which I'll come back to him in a minute. We had Steinbach, we had Rich Graham, and then Bobby Williams, and then Willie Anderson. Okay, here's what happened to all of them. Levi Jones, we had to finally let him go. Was it last year or the year before? Because all of our, and we're still having a lot of fucking penalties on the offense, but he kept getting false starts. I know for sure in like '08, and yeah, he wasn't here last year, was he? I think he's gone. I think that's the reason we finally got rid of him, because his fucking false starts was just killing drives. So that's the left tackle gone. He's still a good player though, as long as he didn't fuck up. Okay, left guard when Palmer started here was Steinbach, Eric Steinbach. He's with the Browns right now. We let him go in free agency for whatever reason. I think that was the same free agency we let Justin Smith go to the 49ers, and the D. Williams, our safety, which we still need a fucking safety. Let him go to Minnesota. I can't remember if he's still there or not. I can't remember if Smith's still 49ers. I ramble. I go into details. I'm sorry. I have a huge memory. Um, Let them go. Steinbach went to the Browns. I don't know. I can't remember if we tried to re-sign him or not. So he was gone, and he was a great guard. I think he might have gone to a Pro Bowl or two with the Browns. Browns fans, you can confirm that or whatever. I'm sure he's still doing good for you guys, but I don't pay that much attention. Okay, the center, Rich Graham, he was getting old anyway. He was a great player. He retired in, I was still in high school. I think '06 is when he retired. And then, okay, right guard, Bobby Williams is still here. He's playing good. He's kind of, I mean, he's one of the hearts of the offense. Uh, Willie Anderson, my dude Willie Anderson. If you guys remember a video I did earlier this year at Fatburger, a restaurant he had that closed, and I got the autograph jersey in the closet and all that he signed. Anyway, um, Mike Brown pretty much forced him out, and was it during training camp, or preseason or something? He wanted him to take a pay cut or something, and he's been here so long. I don't know exactly what he told him, but he was like, no, like fuck you or whatever. Mike Brown, what the hell you give me a pay cut for? I'm better. So they pretty much forced him out. He went to the Ravens. He was with them that year, and went to the playoffs all the way to the AFC Championship. I know he still says he's thankful for that. So at least he got to see the playoffs, or well, got to go further than that one game that he saw in '05, and he deserved it. I talked to him. I think Willie Anderson was a good enough player to make the Pro Bowl, but he's like, well, if you don't win a lot, you don't make it. I'm like, well, okay, that's probably true, but his stats really weren't that much worse. Well, I'm not saying worse. He wasn't super far off from Anthony Munoz. I mean, he wasn't like a big name like Anthony Munoz, but I mean, Willie Anderson was a great player. So anyway, all them guys gone. We still got Bobby Williams. We drafted Whitworth out of was it LSU? I know that don't matter either. Anyway, we got him. He's been good. We switched him to tackle, and that's going to be his Pro Bowl position now. But I think he plays better at guard. So all them guys gone, and we're sitting here. We're replacing them with names like Dennis Rowland and Nate Livings and we got Kyle Cook. Well, we had Guy Check and I think somebody else. Did we have Alex Stepanovich from Ohio State at one point? I can't remember. Yeah, we got these guys, and they're just the offensive line is nowhere near what Palmer had when he was having his Pro Bowl years and all that. I mean, he had better weapons, he had a better line. Brakowski was calling better plays. I swear, if somebody can back me up on this, I swear that in 2005, Brakowski let Palmer call more audibles and run more hurry up. Looked a lot like Peyton Manning, and we almost beat the Colts that year. They beat us by like 8 points, but we had them in a shootout that year at PBS. So he works better with the hurry up, calling his own plays, and he's a better line, more weapons, and he's got weapons this year, but the line's not holding up. And that gets to his interceptions. Now look, Peyton Manning is having a horrible fucking year, and the Colts are just as hurt as the Bengals are. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't fucking care because I don't really follow them, even though a lot of people in this area do. Like they'll follow the Colts, I guess, because they're the second closest thing to here. They don't want to go up to Cleveland or whatever. But anyway, okay, Peyton played Thursday, so after today, I guess Palmer would have 3 more picks than Manning. I think they both had 15 going into today. But are people calling for Peyton Manning's head in Indianapolis like they are here for Carson Palmer? Now, your first thought's like, Grubbs, what the fuck are you talking about? It's Peyton Manning. You can't compare people to Peyton Manning. Even though, Roethlisberger's got 2 rings, and Tom Brady and all that. I'm not getting into that. Anyway, and there's people arguing on the message boards like, well, if you brought in Tom Brady to the Bengals or you brought in Peyton Manning to the Bengals, we would have went to the playoffs so many times and had, so many playoff wins and probably at least 1 Super Bowl by now. And I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? This isn't Madden. I know that works on Madden because I've tried shit like that, and I didn't play with players on the team, but I'd run like a simulation to see what would happen. And yeah, they pretty much play the same no matter what team they're on, unless they're super fucking shitty. Like the team, not the player. But anyway, it's like, okay, let's say for a minute that we went back and we drafted Peyton Manning in '98. I think that was the year he was drafted. I wasn't into football that much, and I told you I liked the Broncos when I was a kid because the Bengals were on TV. All right, anyway, let's say we brought in Peyton Manning in '98 when he got drafted. Okay, so he was here with, who was our head coach in '98? Shula was gone, I think. Bruce Coslett. Anyway, look at the coaching staff when we had around us, and I got into it with my cousin one time. Not like shitty, but telling him about this, and he's like, well, he was bashing Carson Palmer. I'm gonna stand behind Carson Palmer until he like really fucks up. And I'm trying to defend him here. But anyway, he's like, Jeff Blake did more with Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens than fucking Carson Palmer does with 2 Pro Bowl future Hall of Fame receivers. And I'm like, that's true, but do they have Brakowski as their offensive coordinator? Did they have the same offensive line? No, they didn't. And he was like, okay, that's true. You got me on that. Okay, well, if you put Peyton Manning here and he's throwing to Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens and whoever else we had in that offensive line and whatever coordinator, and let's just say we kept bringing in the same people like over the years. I mean, look at all the, and I might make another video later because I was thinking about doing like a whole report on what I think's wrong with the Bengals. A lot of it's probably going into it right now. I might repeat myself. But anyway, And let's just say, we brought in the coaches and all that shit. Peyton Manning, I don't care how good he is, and he's a fucking Hall of Famer and all that. Peyton Manning's great. How can I not say that? But if he was with the Bengals, with this organization and like all the moves that they've done since he's been a pro, he would not be anywhere near the player that he is. He would not have as many playoff appearances. He wouldn't have his fucking Super Bowl ring. He wouldn't be a household name like he is. He wouldn't be selling all the jerseys he does. He wouldn't have all the endorsements he does. He wouldn't have been on SNL after the Super Bowl like he was. He would not have shit. I don't care what his name was and who his dad was. Peyton Manning would not be shit if he was with the Bengals from 1998 until right now. No, he would not be shit. Um, and that goes for any player. Fucking Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, anybody that's been good. I'm probably missing names anyway. Anybody that's been good in that time span, they would not have been who they were if they were with the Bengals. I don't care what the hell you say. So yeah, but anyway, the play calling, the offensive line. If you look at a lot of Palmer's interceptions this year, and another thing, as a fan, I'm sure everybody's different, but what do you look at when you watch a game and something like that happens? Or like when, okay, the quarterback's under center and they're lined up and it looks like a run. We don't always know. I mean, a lot of Bengals fans do because we're so repetitive and it's predictable. But they're lined up for a run, and then the QB takes the snap and drops back. What are you looking at? Are you focusing on the receivers to see who's getting open? Are you focusing on the offensive line to see who's making good blocks, who might be holding, who might be breaking through, blitzing or whatever, and they could be, dragging their shirt or whatever, getting ready to get a call or something? And if you're looking at the quarterback, are you looking at his feet planted? I mean, I know you can't look at everything on every single play, but are you looking at how his feet are set, how he's cocking his arm? Is he being pressured? Is he being touched? What, we can't see what they see out there, but I mean, what are you looking at? And somebody posted a video of, this was a couple weeks ago, he's thrown probably half a dozen since then. But anyway, they posted like a link to NFL.com, like little short clips, and it was always interceptions. People were trying to judge, like, which ones were his fault and which one weren't. And a lot of them haven't been his fault because he's being pressured. And I know you're like, well, other QBs can do that when they're being pressured. Carson Palmer's not fucking Roethlisberger. He's not going to squirt through a little hole if you give him any room to get the ball away. He doesn't have the vision that Manning does. I mean, he's got a great arm. It's deteriorated now because of his fucking elbow. He probably still can't plant his feet right because his, knees tore up. But I mean, what do you look at when that happens? Who do you blame? I mean, receivers, shortcutting routes or stopping on plays. Like T.O. stopped on the one in Indianapolis that was picked, and he even admitted to it. But I mean, honestly, people, it's not Carson Palmer's fault that we're having a bad year. Um, Offensive line can't pass block or run block, and when we do, and we're having a drive, it's amazing. Like, oh, what the fuck you guys are doing? Did you just shoot something up? I mean, what the hell? And then you think about things like, Palmer doesn't have a relationship with his offensive line like Tom Brady does. Because I think I saw, when the hell was the last time they had a prime time? I don't think it was last week. I think it was when they played the Steelers on, was that Sunday night? I think he said in a post-game interview, like, oh, I'm taking him out for steak tonight or something, because him and his offensive line is close, but then again, he's got a good line because they pay him, and they bring the guys in because Robert Kraft is a great owner, fucking Mike Brown isn't. But, I know I'm rambling too long if this is a two-parter. I'm sorry. If you sit through it, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get this shit off my chest. Um, it's not Carson Palmer's fault that we're having the year we are. It's not T.O.'s fault. It ain't Chad's fault. They need to try harder. They need to quit their shows and shit. They need to, stick to football. Um, yeah, it's not their fault. And even, I mean, every week I hope for a win, but at this point in this year, I'm like, oh, we're gonna lose, but how bad? So, I mean, he's trying to get some fun out of it, like,